Wish y'all to tell me what he diagnosed with, what he look like, what he sound like. Y'all don't know nothing about God, and y'all don't know nothing about nothing. You talking to me like that, so I rebuke everything y'all saying about my child.
Drank and smoked while they was pregnant. That's why they're so angry. Cause who the fuck is angry? You supposed to be angry at him that did this. Not that's the reason why you don't find it to be angry is because you did it. I can't even tell you what my mind wanted to do to you once I looked in his face and I didn't know if he was looking at me, you, or the air. I was hurt genuinely.
Welcome back to StarHush, where the truth always finds the light, no matter how deep it's buried. And this one right here, whew, it's shaking the whole internet. Blueface's own mama, Chrisean, just came out with the receipts, and it's got people spinning. She claims what fans been whispering for months, that Chrisean's baby might actually have a disability, and that she's been hiding it the whole time. Now let's keep it real. Fans been peeping that something felt off for a minute. Folks online kept noticing signs that didn't sit right, and every time someone asked questions, Chrisean clapped back hard. She'd go off on folks, call them haters, say they were putting negative energy on her son, and told everyone to stay out her business. Even Blueface tried to raise concerns once or twice, but Chrisean shut it all the way down like she didn't want to hear none of it. But now, it looks like even Chrisean had enough of the secrets and silence. She just dropped a bombshell, leaking what she says are actual medical records about her grandson. And according to her, the diagnosis is serious and heartbreaking. So now everybody's asking, what did Chrisean really expose? Did she prove Chrisean might have been hiding something major about her baby's health? And why would Chrisean keep fighting folks trying to help him? Let's get into it, because this story is wild. So look, it's no secret that Blueface's mom has never been Chrisean's biggest fan. Like ever. These two been beefing since day one, but nobody expected Chrisean to take things this far. The way she's been talking online, some folks feel like she's not just shading Chrisean anymore. She's throwing shade at the baby too. Chrisean recently went live and described the first time she met her grandson Jr. And what she said had people's jaws on the floor. She straight up claimed that she could instantly tell something was wrong with the baby, just from being around him. Chrisean didn't hold back either. She described how Jr. didn't respond to sounds, how he avoided eye contact, and how he had certain behaviors that made her believe he needed help. Fast. Then she said she spoke up about it, but Chrisean brushed her off like she was tripping. According to Chrisean, she tried to suggest getting the baby evaluated, maybe looking into therapy, but Chrisean wasn't trying to hear none of that. She says Chrisean kept insisting Jr. was perfectly fine and that people just wanted to speak bad over her child. But Chrisean's not buying it anymore. And this time she came with paperwork. Allegedly, she posted medical documents online claiming that Jr.'s been officially diagnosed with a developmental delay. She even said there were recommendations for early intervention services that, according to her, Chrisean's been ignoring. Now, whether the docs are legit or not is still up for debate. But if this is true, it paints a whole different picture, one where a baby might not be getting the support he actually needs, all because his mom is too focused on shutting down the critics instead of getting real help.
Seeing them, I never seen them whoop before. I never seen what they saw. I literally thought this whole time that maybe people's fans was doing something to the pictures or, making it not. I didn't believe it the whole time. I just was like, nah, John said there was a couple things going on, but he didn't say it was to that extent. Saw him in that restaurant, it crushed me. And for her to say she wanted to stomp me out, girl, I can't even tell you what my mind wanted to do to you once I looked in his face and I didn't know if he was looking at me, you, or the air. I was hurt, genuinely hurt. But you know what I said? You know what? That's okay. That's okay. If he can laugh and he can cry and he can smile, he can still be a joy in the...
Chrisean didn't stop at just pointing out something seemed off with Jr. She took it a step further and said she was ready to love that baby no matter what. She claimed she wanted to step in as a real grandmother and be there for him, even if he needed extra help or support.
It don't matter. It wouldn't matter to me at all, one bit. He will be around this mother in a chair that sits him up. I will go buy the best stuff for him. I will go buy the best chair that sits him up. I will be calling India and France and Rome, trying to figure out what machine we can get to work what. We will be chopping that shit.
See, once that first video hit, Chrisean came back swinging. She went online calling Carissa bitter, saying she was just hating for no reason and trying to tear her down for clout. That sent Carissa into a whole other gear. She hopped right back on live and dropped a bomb, accusing Chrisean of possibly being the reason why Junior's got developmental delays in the first place. Allegedly, of course.
Them mother drank and smoked while they was pregnant. That's why they're so angry. Because who the fuck is angry? You supposed to be angry at a that did this. Not, that's the reason why you don't find it to be angry is because you did it. Then y'all want to hop on here I'm talking about my grandbaby. No, I'm talking about the trifling mammy.
And let's just say, that accusation only added fuel to the fire, because for a long time now, fans have been whispering about the possibility of Junior being born with fetal alcohol syndrome. And while nobody wants to judge, the signs people been pointing out just won't stop popping up. Now let's keep it respectful, but real. Chrisean's own behavior during her pregnancy had people raising eyebrows from the start. She was seen drinking, smoking, and partying multiple times, even while visibly pregnant. Her family even stepped in and tried to talk to her about it, reportedly begging her to chill out for the sake of the baby. But according to folks close to her, she brushed them off, like she didn't want to hear none of it.
I woke up today knowing I don't want a child no more. I don't want no fucking kid no more. I don't think I want to be a Blueface girlfriend.
Get yourself together.
Where the bottle at?
Oh my gosh.
Drink it.
She asked for another bottle. I'm just
So you can't have liquor?
Yes, I can. I can abort the child tomorrow. It won't hurt me.
No,
He shouldn't do it 'cause
you
it's
can't have
cold.
no fucking liquor.
There were also moments where it really seemed like she wasn't planning to go through with the pregnancy at all. Chrisean herself made some wild comments during those early months that had people wondering if she was just gonna end it. But at some point, she changed her mind and decided to keep the baby. Yet the partying didn't stop. Even Blueface spoke on it. He went online and aired everything out. He said that Chrisean smoked on the way to the hospital, literally on the day she gave birth. He tweeted, "You smoked a blunt on the way to the hospital. You was finna do a concert while in labor. You smoked your way to birth. You don't think I can get the kid for real?" Then he added something that really had folks clutching pearls. "My son not healthy because she drank, smoked, and got hit the whole pregnancy. She couldn't even stop for 1 month." Now that's serious. And if that wasn't enough, he also revealed the baby had a hernia that needed surgery, but Chrisean allegedly kept delaying the procedure. Instead of quietly handling it, Blueface took it to the internet in the worst way. He actually posted a photo of Junior, one that shouldn't have been made public, and wrote, "This what my son D looked like, and she worried about me and lil baby. Like, girl, get your son right first, then do what you want." That post had everybody stunned, not just because of the photo, but because of how raw and exposed the whole situation had gotten. If Junior really needed help and wasn't getting it, that's a serious issue. And if both parents are too busy arguing online instead of focusing on the baby's care, then something has to give. Then Blueface really took it to another level, and not in a good way. He jumped on Twitter and made the whole mess 10 times worse when he boldly tweeted, "That's my son. I'll post whatever I want. Who gonna stop me? Squabble up or shut up?" People were horrified. Like, what? That was straight up outrageous. It didn't take long for Twitter to snatch that photo down for obvious reasons. But Blueface didn't let up, not even close. He kept going off, dropping a full-blown rant that had everybody shook. He said stuff like, "Baby still ain't got that hernia surgery. She lying talking about he healthy. She on here talking about me and my personal life. Fix our son first, then go run behind somebody else." He even told fans to tag Chrisean in the post so she couldn't ignore it. He wanted everybody to see it. "Do what you gotta do to make this happen so I can stop being the headline in her life," he tweeted. The man was spiraling and taking it all public. Then things really went left. Blueface accused Chrisean of doing some serious stuff. He tweeted, "I tried to keep it low-key and private, but this girl keep pushing. Leave me alone. You're a crack baby. She's a bad mom. Yeah, I said it. She ain't focused on the surgery. She been skipping appointments just so she can run the streets." He even said he flew to Baltimore thinking it was time for their son's surgery, only to find out Chrisean allegedly never showed up to the appointment. That right there had folks raising eyebrows all over again. But Chrisean fired back with her own side of the story and wasn't about to let Blueface twist the narrative. She clapped back on Instagram saying, "He knows the surgery is already set with the surgeon. Don't sit here and lie." According to her, she's been pulling up to every single appointment in Baltimore and staying on top of her son's health. She was not feeling Blueface trying to paint her as unfit. She said, "Now you really trying to get my kid taken away from me, knowing I've been doing everything I can. I need people to seriously back off. I've had enough of the lies. Y'all can't see I'm trying." She didn't stop there either. She brought up Blueface's own legal troubles, reminding everybody he's got a whole probation case hanging over his head. "Worry about that probation officer that's trying to lock you up. I'll be glad when they take your goofy self away," she added. At one point, Chrisean even said she was planning to press charges on him for exposing their son online. But just like that, nothing ever came from it.
So Blueface, you're gonna go to jail, bro. Like, being a free man right now. Like, appreciate the time you got right now, because nigga, you're not finna be roaming the world like you thought you was going to be roaming the world. Like,
it was around this point that fans really started paying attention, like, wait a minute, something ain't adding up here. That's when people truly began to notice that something might be wrong with the baby, and with how Chrisean was handling the whole situation. Slowly but surely, the same folks who were rooting for her flipped the script and started calling her out. It's wild how fast the support turned into side-eye energy. Remember, everybody was on her side when she first dropped the news about being pregnant, cheering her on like she was about to turn a new leaf. But if you know anything about Chrisean, then you know she's always been unpredictable, and her on and off mess with Blueface had already become a reality TV level disaster. Their relationship? Straight up toxic for years. Back and forth, fighting in public, breaking up, making up, rinse and repeat. So when she first announced the baby, most people thought she was finally about to snap out of the chaos and glow up for real. And to be fair, at first it looked like she might actually do it. She was saying all the right things, talking about self-love, healing, and how she was gonna raise little Chrisean Jr. on her own. In one of her most emotional posts, she opened up about the roller coaster she was riding. She said, "When I saw the face of what was growing inside of me, I had to pray the fear away of being a mommy. It's super overwhelming because this pregnancy was planned, but now he don't see a future with me no more." She continued, "We both did things to each other that broke the trust, so I was left with no option but to terminate. I was surprised I was that far along. There was no turning back. I instantly fell in love when I saw the face and heard the heartbeat." So right there, she basically admitted what fans had been suspecting, that she was originally planning to terminate the pregnancy, and that's why she kept smoking and drinking like it was nothing. But once she saw the ultrasound and heard that heartbeat, something shifted in her. At least that's how she framed it. She also shared some really personal thoughts, saying this baby gave her a second chance at life, a way to reset and heal from everything she'd gone through. She wrote, "I had bad thoughts like, I don't want to be Rock anymore. I don't want to be famous. I messed up. I should have stayed in school. But I had to separate my heartbreak from the biggest thing I ever prayed for." She promised to stop acting off emotion and start focusing on what really matters. "I'm okay with moving on. I'm okay with letting go of what's not for me. Having a child won't stop me from making money, learning, or loving myself more. I don't need a dollar from anyone to raise this child. I'm blessed and highly favored, and that's all that matters right now." Sounds good, right? She even said she was done with Blueface for good, claiming she was ready to cut the cord. She said, "Telling him no today was a step, but how do you get rid of a soul tie?" And that's the part that had people watching closely, because even after all that talk about healing and cutting him off, the drama just kept following her. She had a real moment of reflection and it hit deep. She said, "I really had to take a step back because still giving a part of me to him is messed up for my son. How am I letting a man who don't even want to be a dad to my only child still have access to me in any way?" You could tell she was battling with herself, heart versus logic. Then she revealed that Blueface texted her that day and she almost fell for the bait again. She admitted, "I almost folded for that nonsense. Like, what am I even doing right now?" That's when the self-awareness kicked in hard. She said, "I'm sitting here looking at my son like, girl, cut this immature stuff out." She wasn't done. She snapped and said, "Hey Blue, go bother somebody else. Stop hitting me up, bruh. Go find another girl to rub on you and your homies. That's not safe, it's nasty, and you playing a real dangerous game out here." Then she flipped it into a prayer moment, crying out for strength like, "God, let me stop wanting this man. Please free me from myself. I need strength to stay focused." And honestly, she was being real. "It's tough knowing your child's father don't want to be involved," she said. "Instead of dealing with that pain, I settle for less every time." And that's why when she gave birth, Blue wasn't even in the room. She straight up said, "I didn't invite him. I went back to my hometown to have my baby. None of these weird folks was gonna be around my son. I'm all he has, and I'm gonna make sure he's protected from hate, jealousy, or anything else trying to come his way." Then she dropped a beautiful name reveal. His name is Chrisean, and he will be loved and respected. Period. She sounded focused, like she was turning the page for real. She posted, "I can't wait to show y'all the glow up. New me, new everything. Soon as I heal, I'm flying back to LA to move into my new home. I'm ready for new music, movies, just all blessings. I'm grateful." And listen, fans were clapping for her. Like seriously, folks were rooting for her hard. It finally looked like she was done with the chaos and about to step into her grown woman era. Sure, some people were still skeptical, saying she'd never change, but others were holding on to hope that maybe motherhood had finally calmed her down. Sadly though, that version of Chrisean didn't last long. Just a few weeks later, she started acting out all over again. The internet was watching, and it didn't take long before folks began worrying about little Chrisean Jr. The moment things really started getting loud was during that wild Instagram live she did in January, the one where she was defending that tattoo she got of Blue's mugshot on her face. While she was ranting, her son could be heard crying in the background. And that sound, it made people pause. Fans said something didn't sound right. The way he cried, the tone, the way it lingered. It just didn't sit right with people.
In relations with Blue, we was still rough, on and off, whatever case may be. Alright, cool. Alright, cool. Right? When they start talking, saying or subliminally saying stuff or doing an actual interview and start talking, that's different.
Things really started spiraling when fans spotted something serious, a respirator machine. Yep, in one of her pictures, plain as day in the background. Then came a video where the baby was crying, and instead of addressing it, Chrisean tried to act like it was just a laugh. But viewers knew that cry didn't sound normal. Something was off, and she knew it too.
Why are you laughing like that?
People started looking closer at Junior's behavior. Like in multiple clips, he'd just be staring into space, not really following objects with his eyes, not reaching out the way babies his age usually do. Sure, he could hold his head up, but the rest wasn't adding up to what folks expected from a child hitting key development marks. That's when the talk about a possible visual impairment started picking up real steam. And when the comments started rolling in, Chrisean got defensive, fast. She went live to say her son was perfectly fine and that folks were doing too much. But what happened next had even more people concerned.
Louisiana chicken pasta. And we got the baby mashed potatoes. Let's pray for the food. Look at his shirt too. It'll say Jesus.
Oh, that's great.
Baby. That's his name though. That's his middle name.
Jesus?
Yeah.
That's cool. Chrisean Jesus Malone. That's a famous name right there.
We'll be talking, walking, playing football, everything. Who is y'all to tell me what he diagnosed with, and what he look like, what he sound like. Y'all know nothing about God, and y'all know nothing about nothing. You talking to me like that, so I rebuke everything y'all saying about my child, to be honest. But I like this, bro.
At Junior's first birthday, it became real clear that he couldn't walk or stand on his own. Chrisean propped him up on her legs for the photos, making it look like he was standing, but people weren't buying it. Now listen, not every baby walks at 1 year old, that's true. But given the other red flags folks already noticed, this just added to the list of worries. Then things got even messier when Janet, a former friend of Chrisean, stepped into the chat. She claimed that Chrisean was in denial about Junior needing help, and that she personally tried to step in and get him some kind of evaluation or treatment, but Chrisean wasn't having it.
Janet, why didn't you convince her to help Junior? I did. My cousin is a specialist. Like, I did the best I could. My cousin works with autistic children. She works one-on-one with all kinds of children. It don't matter if you're autistic, if you're not, if you're a regular children, like, we offered the help as much as we can. Like, my cousin is literally has her BA in all of this. It's like when people are in denial of stuff, it's like you can't help people when they're in denial of what's actually going on in reality. Like, I get, oh, we're all prayed up, we just have faith, but faith comes with work. You just can't have faith and just sit around and have faith. It's like you got to put the work in too. Like, that's how God is going to repay you. If you put the work in, not just gossiping around other people and be like, oh.
The real drama came when Chrisean fell out with her best friend Marsh, and it was all about Junior's health. When Chrisean was locked up and Marsh was watching Junior, Marsh allegedly tried to take him to the hospital. She could tell something wasn't right, but the moment Chrisean found out, she went ballistic. In some leaked text between Marsh and a friend, Marsh said Chrisean flipped because when she called from jail, I told her I couldn't keep Junior. She kept promising me all this money and stuff, but days were going by and my Cash App was still dry. And y'all, Marsh was raising serious alarms. She said Junior had nothing but the clothes on his back. No formula because he can't eat solid food. No blanket, no car seat, no clothes, no bottles, nothing. I bought what I could, but I still have my own child to take care of. It was hard. And if that wasn't heartbreaking enough, Marsh added, I had my sister babysit so I could go work and make rent money. But my sister noticed he kept spitting up and was gonna take him to the hospital. When Chrisean found out, she spazzed on me and sent Smiley to grab Junior from my sister's house. Now tell me that doesn't sound like someone trying to hide something. To make matters worse, Marsh also claimed that Chrisean had been going out of her way to fake like everything was all good. She said she was staging these little photo shoots and videos just to make it look like Junior was fine, but behind the scenes, she wasn't giving that baby what he needed. Marsh even confessed that she used to be deep in that Reddit thread that was exposing Chrisean, checking it every day, reading what people were saying, and agreeing with a lot of it. And get this, Marsh said Chrisean had notifications on for that Reddit thread. Anytime someone posted in there, she'd be the first one to see it. Marsh was doing her lashes one day, and Chrisean was literally scrolling through Reddit saying, they saying he can't walk and can't hold himself up. I'm gonna post a picture of him in his walker later. Marsh said she had to keep it real with her like, Chrissy, he can't though. But Chrisean would respond, I gotta make them think he can. Otherwise, they're gonna be saying he messed up because I was drinking. But I wasn't even drinking that much. Whew! Marsh didn't hold back. She straight up said, she's sick, bro. Now, if you thought that was wild, there's more. It's being said that Chrisean has been editing pictures of Junior, literally photoshopping his face and body to make him look normal to the public, just trying to trick fans instead of getting him the actual help he needs. And look, people aren't making this up for fun. There was a recent event where she showed up with Junior, and even though he's getting close to 2 years old, folks said he was barely holding his head up. That alone should tell you something serious is going on, yet she's still out here pushing the idea that he's fine.
Okay? I've been in there for fucking time where it was needed. Oh, y'all online thinking I'm taking them to fucking babysitter. My job ain't no fucking babysitter, goddammit.
But that's what everybody looked at you at on the internet.
Shit. Shit. Not about, it's about you. Not trying to make it about this baby, it's about Jonathan today.
Which brings us back to Carissa, Blueface's mama. With everything she said recently, it really feels like she just confirmed what people have been thinking for a minute. Now, before anyone gives her credit and says she's speaking up for the baby, let's not forget the facts. When Chrisean got arrested at Blueface's court hearing, Carissa and Blueface's dad were both at the courthouse, and when it came time to take the baby, neither one of them wanted to step up. They actually argued over who wouldn't take Junior, even though they knew that meant he'd be placed in foster care temporarily. Like, how do you fight not to help your own grandchild? This whole thing is just heartbreaking. Whether you agree with Carissa's approach or not, or whether you believe Chrisean is trying her best, this baby didn't ask for any of this. Imagine being born into all this chaos, with Chrisean as your mom, Blueface as your dad, and Carissa as your grandmother. That's a tough hand to be dealt. And at the end of the day, Junior is the one caught in the middle of all this drama. He's the one that deserves better from every single adult involved. Now it's your turn. I want to know what my stars and hushers think about this situation. Do you think Chrisean's in denial or just overwhelmed? Is Carissa exposing the truth or just trying to take jabs? And most importantly, who's really looking out for Junior? Drop your thoughts in the comments, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on those notifications so you don't miss the next drop. I'll see you in the next one.